that when he did his workout, I was like, okay, he's a little small, and I like big guys. I don't like, a bunch of little guys, but he plays thick and heavy, and he's right where he needs to be. He throw hands. He's a lot like when I talk about consistency and being where you're supposed to be, like I talk about DA. That's what Sheldon is, and he's very smart. You could tell him. He understands the blocking schemes and what's coming at him, the lean and the balance of the offensive alignment. If it's run pass, he gets all that, and so he's been a very important part to our defense.
I don't remember if I asked you this before, so I'm going to ask it again. But
okay.
From a defensive perspective, you guys go against Jaden. You guys know Jaden as well as anybody. Mm-hmm. What makes him so hard to bring down when he's on the move?
When he's on the move?
Yeah, like when he's scrambling. I mean, he can force so many missed tackles.
Well, because he's really fast. Like he's probably one of the faster guys on the team, and so as you're taking an angle, if you take an angle to actually go get him, he has a one-step cut where he can get vertical really quick. And so if you don't have multiple bodies going at him, if he sees one person, like they talk about Kobe in basketball, he was never worried about the first defender. He was worried about the help side and what's coming at him. That's where Jaden's eyes are when he's running. He's not worried about you tackling him. He's not going to tackle me. All right, now how do I beat him and make sure that this guy doesn't get me? That's what he does. And so he's hard. In practice, I always say, don't run him in practice because we can't hit him. So, you're giving him 15 yards on a run in practice. Well, we can't even get close to him, so it's not even fair. But he makes us look the same way in practice, yes.
Is there a difference preparing for a first-year offensive coordinator than there is for somebody who has more experience?
Yeah, it's from the standpoint that, you have a book on guys that you've seen, years prior. With a guy that's his first year, okay, you look at what he's done. Now, we're towards the end of the season, so it's a little bit easier. But you look at, okay, what did he do at the place before? And his history, and then who was he really under for the majority of his time? You try to go back in the past and see what he's done in the past.
How much of what you've seen from Zach is more the Rams versus his own personal flavor on this offense?
It's not as much as the Rams as I thought it was going to be. I think it's a little bit more of him, Tampa was more ramish than more reductions and all, but I think he's put a little bit more of his own flavor on it.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
You talked a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons. Could you talk a little bit more about what you see that they do really well on the offense with a new quarterback in there, but their overall offense?
Well, I think from the pass game standpoint, they make the reads similar. They're balanced for the quarterback, and so the progression, if it's left to right, or if it's away from the back or to the back, it's very easy for the quarterback to get through his progressions. In the run game, they do a good job of getting the ball on the edge. I mean, they have really good blockers. They really get to the second level quickly, and they're able to get the runner onto the second level.
And you talked about Frankie Louvu, good game last week, but what have you seen in just week after week as far as just what he does?
Well, first, he's, like I've said from day one, he's the type of player that we wanted to build this defense around. He's a run and hit, high energy man. He's everything that this defense really wants to be about. Frankie is a great teammate. All right, he's a leader. He doesn't say a whole bunch of, he doesn't say anything. He just runs and plays with great emotion and does whatever we ask him to do. He's right there. Bobby's so even keeled, and then you have Frankie that just is ready to run through the wall. So he's just what we stand for.
This might be kind of basic, but do you have to adjust the way that you call a defense or your playing a lefty quarterback?
Yeah, that's a good question. Some things we might do in reverse because of the progression of how they read it. But, for the most part, we always do a hit chart of where the ball goes. And sometimes there's a right-hand quarterback that might throw it better to the left. That's rare, but there's sometimes that happens. And so we see the hit chart, and if we want to tilt the coverage one way or another, that affects. I give you an example. We were playing when Michael Vick came back a long time ago. That game started with a right-hand quarterback, and he came in. He was at Philly, and I had Sam Shields on the opposite side of the quarterback's throwing hand. So when Vic came in, I still had Sam to the right side, and he was a rookie that year. And he gave up a touchdown. Well, I should have flipped him once he got in and put Tremont on that side over there, which I didn't, but then it hit me like, okay, he's to the quarterback's throwing arm. So that's a very good point.
Just wondering about John and how you plug him back in whenever he gets back on the field and how he can help you at this stage?
Oh, I'm excited. With the opportunity of getting him back, hopefully that happens when he gets back in. I'm sure he'll be on the pitch count, but I don't know what that number will be. I'll let the medical staff and AP and DQ, lead that way. But he gives us just another veteran player, high pedigree player that can go in and give those quality snaps inside, that can get after the quarterback, push the pocket, be disruptive. So we're excited to get him back. All right, y'all have a great one now.
By the way, Jake would not be worried about me tackling you.
James not worried about much right there. I tell you,